Welcome back to We Can Do It Women. I'm Deborah Morrison, and today we're talking about something that's deeply personal, yet absolutely essential, and that is your legacy. Now, when most people hear estate planning, they think about death and taxes, but I want to reframe this conversation entirely. Legacy planning isn't about death, it's about living with intention and ensuring that your values, wisdom, and love continue long after you're gone. And as women over 60, we do have a unique opportunity. We do. We've accumulated not just financial assets, but decades of wisdom here, relationships, experiences. We've overcome challenges, raised families, built careers, and navigated life's complexities. And today, we're going to cover the essential legal documents you need, strategies to protect your assets, and how to ensure that your wishes are honored. We're also going to talk about the legacy that matters most, which is the values and the stories and the wisdom you want to pass down. Because here's what I've learned. Some of the wealthiest women in the world leave their families something much more valuable than money, a legacy of strength, love, and resilience that continues to guide them today. So what are the essential estate planning documents? Let's start with the legal foundation of your legacy plan. These documents aren't just for the wealthy. Every woman needs them. Your last will and testament. Your will is your final set of instructions for distributing your assets and caring for your dependents. The key provisions for the women include guardian nominations for minor children or grandchildren, specific bequests of sentimental items, charitable giving instructions, digital asset instructions, photos, social media kinds of accounts, because your will only controls assets that don't have a beneficiary designation. IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, life insurance, annuities, and jointly owned property. They all pass outside your will. Revocable living trusts. A trust can help your family avoid probate. In states like Florida, where the probate is gnarly, this is invaluable, and provide more detailed instructions for asset distribution. Now, some of the benefits for women include privacy. A will becomes public record, trusts don't. Incapacity planning, if you become unable to manage your affairs. And more detailed instructions for family heirlooms and personal property are so valued. How about potential asset protection benefits? I had a client, Margaret, who put her home in a trust with specific instructions that her daughter could live there as long as she needed, but it would eventually be sold to fund her granddaughter's education. The trust made this complex arrangement completely legally binding and clear. How about our financial power of attorney? This document allows someone you trust to manage your financial affairs if you become incapacitated. And this is very likely a different person than you're going to name for the power of attorney over your medical decisions. Critical considerations: choose someone who's financially responsible and trustworthy, related or not. How about considering naming a successor agent? Decide whether to give immediate authority or only upon incapacity. Include specific instructions about investment management. Healthcare power of attorney and living wills. These documents ensure your medical wishes are honored. The healthcare power of attorney appoints someone to make the medical decisions for you. And a living will specifies your wishes for end-of-life care. Now, women's specific considerations include discussing our wishes with our appointed agent in detail, yes. Consider our values about the quality of life versus the number of days of our lives. How about including instructions about pain management and comfort care? And let's update these documents as our health situations change. HIPAA authorization. This allows your designated people to access your medical information. Without this, even your adult children could be unable to get information about your condition. Now let's protect assets from long-term care costs. This is especially important for women since we're more likely to need long-term care as we live longer. The challenge is long-term care can cost $8,000 to $15,000 a month, depending upon where in the United States you get this care. Without planning, this can quickly deplete a person's lifetime savings. So, asset protection strategies may be called for. How about Medicaid planning? Medicaid has a 5-year look-back period for asset transfers, so you can't decide it at the last minute. Certain transfers are allowed without penalty, to spouses and disabled children, for example. Some assets are exempt: the primary residence up to a certain value, one car, personal belongings, etc. Irrevocable trust. Assets transferred to a revocable trust might be protected from long-term care costs. And this must be done, as I say, well in advance, because the Medicaid look-back period is 5+ years. You do give up control of these assets when you utilize many of these planning techniques. You have to weigh the benefits versus those costs. How about long-term care insurance? It protects assets by paying for care costs. Hybrid life insurance and long-term care policies all smushed together. They actually provide a death benefit if you don't use the long-term care aspect of it. You might consider this if you have over $200,000 or $250,000 in assets to protect. Now, let's just take an example. Linda, let's say 68 years old, has $800,000 in assets. She might be wise to consider this combination. Purchase a hybrid long-term care policy with $300,000 in total benefits. Transfer a couple $100,000 to an irrevocable trust for her grandkids, and keep $400,000 for her lifetime needs. This strategy could protect most of her assets while ensuring she actually had resources for her own care. Medicaid planning is complex and it varies by state. And these states all have their different rules and exceptions. So you want to work with an elder law attorney who specializes in this area. Power of attorney, choosing the right person. This is one of the most important decisions you're going to make. And many women choose poorly. I'm talking about the medical power of attorney now. Mistake number 1 is a common mistake: automatically choosing the oldest child. Age doesn't equal financial responsibility or medical responsibility or availability. Mistake number 2, trying to be fair by choosing multiple agents. This can create conflicts and delays when quick decisions might be needed. Mistake number 3, choosing someone who lives far away. Your agent may need to handle local banking, property management, or healthcare decisions. So you see why these considerations involve any type of power of attorney: financial, medical, etc. Mistake number 4, not having difficult conversations with your chosen agent. They should understand your values and wishes right now. So better selection criteria might include: who's most financially responsible? Do they manage their own money well right now? And can they take the time to handle your affairs if you are disabled? Trustworthiness. Will they act in your best interest, not their own? How about their communication skills? Can they work with the financial institutions, the healthcare providers, and the family members? And are they compatible with your values? Do they understand what's important to you? My recommendation is choose the most capable and trustworthy person, regardless of family birth order or relationships. And they don't have to be in your family, of course. Then have honest conversations with other family members about your choice. I've seen families torn apart when the wrong person was chosen as power of attorney. It's better to hurt feelings now and better ensure your wishes are granted than destroy relationships later. Yeah. Now let's talk about our legacy beyond the money, because that often matters far more than the money. How about our wisdom and values? You see, an ethical will or letter, write letters or video a message to your kids and grandkids sharing your core values and beliefs, life lessons you've learned, family history and stories behind that, your hopes and dreams for them, and forgiveness and love. I always encourage clients to write separate letters for major life events for their survivors: graduations, weddings, births of great-grandkids. These will be difficult times for them to navigate without your presence, so a letter in their possession is going to be so soothing and healing and comforting. So let's talk about family history documentation, because some of it is slipping away. How about we record our stories, audio or video recordings of the family history? Make written memoirs or family stories and create photo albums with detailed captions. How about pulling together recipe collections with family significance? What Aunt Betty was known for, what I'm known for, what so-and-so was known for, and so this can be a rich legacy to pass along. Let's preserve our family artifacts, shall we? Create detailed inventories of family heirlooms with the stories. Designate specific items for specific family members. Yeah, best to do that while you're alive. And document the significance of various family traditions so that they will be carried on. Digital legacy. Obviously, our online presences are valuable. Let's designate digital executors for social media accounts, organize digital photo collections, create password lists for online accounts. Really valuable information. Put that in your safety deposit box. Consider what happens to your digital content after you're gone. Here's an example of meaningful legacy planning in my HIPAA. My client Ruth created what she called a love box for each of her grandkids. She had a handwritten letter for their 18th, 25th, and 30th birthdays in there. Family photos with stories written on the back. A piece of jewelry or meaningful object, a small little financial gift, and her grandmother's recipes. The grandkids treasure these boxes more than any financial inheritance. Let's talk about charitable legacy. Giving that reflects our values. Let's choose causes that matter to us personally. And we want to consider recurring gifts versus one-time bequests or a combination of the two. I suggest you involve your family in charitable activities. Choose charities that receive money annually. This can create a whole lot of intergenerational wealth transfer and community bonding. Maybe you want to create scholarship funds or donor advised funds. Now let's talk about common estate planning mistakes because there are a lot of them. So I want to share with you a couple so that you can avoid them. And mistake number one is procrastination. Oh, I'll do it next year. Now that likely is translated, I'll likely never do it. Don't fall prey to that. Mistake number two, do-it-yourself documents. Online forms seem really easy and cheap, but they don't account for your specific situation or state laws. It's surprising how many online services are not up to date. Oy, oy, oy. Mistake number three, forgetting to update beneficiary designations. Your IRA beneficiary form overrides your will. Remember, make sure these are updated and mail them certified return receipt to the insurance company. Get the receipt back and file that with the beneficiary designation for your heirs ready access. Important. Mistake number four, not communicating with family surprises in estate plans creates family conflicts and contests. You don't want a contested will. No, you do not. So videos on the rationale of why you made the decisions are invaluable both before and after death. Mistake five, ignoring tax implications for planning can result in unnecessary taxes for your beneficiaries. Let's not give Uncle Sam a family slot here in our beneficiary list. No, let's not. Willingly or unwillingly. That requires our intentionality, of course. Mistake number six, not updating our documents. Life changes. Divorce, remarriage, deaths, new grandkids. It requires plan updates. Mistake number seven, try to control from the grave. It overly restricts trusts. These trusts that are very, very tied up and buttoned up, they can really bind a family and perhaps even hurt the people you're trying to help. Addictions, family estrangement, these can significantly alter how money will be distributed. Yes, they can. And what are the costs of these mistakes? Well, I've seen families waste valuable years in estate disputes and spend more on legal fees fighting over the estates than perhaps the estate was even worth. So clear communication and proper planning prevent these tragedies. So here's your legacy planning action plan. This month, schedule meetings with your estate planning attorney, not the attorney that closed on your house. No, this is a specialty area and you need an estate planning specialty attorney. Gather important financial documents and account information. Start jotting down notes, maybe recording them so that you can write letters to your loved ones. Take an inventory of your family heirlooms and record the stories around their origin. This quarter, complete an essential array of your legal documents. Yeah. Update all the beneficiary designations. Organize your important papers for your family. Have conversations with each of your chosen powers of attorney. And this year, create your digital legacy plan. Begin documenting family stories and history. Review and update your plan annually and consider charitable giving strategies. Remember, estate planning is an act of love, not morbidity. Your legacy includes more than your money. So clear communication prevents family conflicts, and regular updates keep your plan current. The goal isn't to control your family's future from beyond. It's to express your love, share your wisdom, and make their lives easier during a difficult time. Your legacy starts today with how you live, how you love, and prepare for the future. This concludes our second month of content. And next week, we're going to start month 3 with fresh topics and strategies for building your financial confidence and independence. Don't forget to subscribe, join our Facebook community, and share this video with any woman who wants to create a meaningful legacy. Until next time, remember, your life has created a legacy of wisdom, love, and strength. Make sure it's preserved and shared.